Hagley Woods, a remote and shrouded location near the town of Stourbridge, is home to a very infamous cold case indeed, that of who put Bella in the wych elm. Here, on the 18th of April 1943, 4 boys were here to escape the bombardment of German planes which were hitting their town of Birmingham. They were also here with their dogs, hunting for various animals due to the severe meat ration which was going on at the time. One of the boys, that of Bob Farmer, noticed the wych elm. Seeing its peculiar and strange look, he decided to climb the tree, and he saw a white glimmer. Thinking that this was a bird's nest and these were eggs, he decided to pick one up. And what he picked up shook him to his core. He had seen a skull, and at first had believed this to be an animal's. However, a closer inspection of the teeth, he realised they were all crooked, and the eye holes were hollow, and he realised this was a human skull. He then clambered down the tree and relayed the information to his friends, and they all scattered away from the scene, vowing to tell no one what they'd seen. However, the pressure got to Thomas Willits, who was one of the other boys, and he relayed the account to his parents, who quickly phoned the police. The area was then closed off to the public, and an investigation was started. When the police did a deeper search into the tree, they cut it down and broke into the trunk, and they noticed not only the skull, which had a large clump of dark hair on the one side, but also the whole skeleton besides the right hand, which had been severed. The skeleton was covered in various fragments of clothing, and on the ring finger, a wedding ring, which implied that the person had been married. After the contents of the wych elm had been recovered, they were all sent to Birmingham's Home Office, where a forensic examination was done by the medical professor and pathologist James Webster. Webster realised that the person was in their late to mid-30s and was about 5 foot in height. The other distinct thing about the corpse was their distinct set of teeth, which on the upper jaw had some very irregular teeth. The Worcestershire police then went to every single dental establishment in the area. Due to her unique and protruding upper jaw, they knew they would find a match to this description. However, going through various missing persons reports, they could not find a single match to the deceased woman. As well, even with this such unique set of teeth, they couldn't find a single match anywhere, and no one had even heard of a person like this. The largest discovery after the initial one was a piece of cloth lodged into her mouth, with many labelling asphyxiation as the cause of death, and bringing a lot more evidence that she was murdered. James Webster also said it was unlikely or unreasonable for a woman to just slip in there, let alone crawl in there for a place to commit suicide. As well, how the body was positioned, it was very clear that she'd been killed very close to the tree and then stuffed into it due to rigor mortis not having set in. Besides the right hand being severed from the body, there was no more markings or injuries that had been shown. Webster also realised that she was killed 18 months to 2 years before she was found due to the decay of the body. As well, the police then looked into the crepe-soled shoes that were found very close by, which led them to the Waterfoot Company in Lancaster, where they located the owners of all but 6 of the shoes. The tree murder riddle, which was known at the time, was gaining complexity, which made it harder and harder for police to identify the missing person. Alongside this, the Blitz was increasing the numbers of missing people every single day. This meant that the tragedies of war were distracting the public and the police away from the murder, and it meant that the case over the years got colder and colder until it was completely forgotten. No new information came about the case until December of that year, where on Upper Dean Street in Birmingham, etched on one of the walls of a house wrote the message, "Who put Lubella in the Wych Elm, Hagley Woods?" A new lead. But who is Bella? Well, this is the first time a name has ever been associated with the case, or at least hinted at it. But no one came forward with any information after this. However, the phrase was etched with the same chalk all across the Midlands by the exact same hand. And the phrase, "Who put Bella in the Wych Elm?" has stuck with this case ever since. The author of the graffiti has been speculated to know more about the case, either being linked to the killer or the victim. Or were they just teasing the police? Well, the identity of the graffiti artist has never been identified, and the phrase was appearing all over Birmingham and similar locations throughout the 1940s, with the last location being the Hagley obelisk, which links the mysterious woman with the name Bella. This meant the case became a whodunit, with the combination of the cryptic phrase as well as the mysterious identity of the woman meant the whole country was confused, and a lot of people started to come up with theories of what actually happened. So what actually happened to Bella? Well, throughout the years there has been various theories that have been put forward, and today we will give you 5 of the most plausible ones that were put forward. The most widely believed theory is that Bella is a spy named Clara. In World War II, the West Midlands was used for various military installments, as well as factories to help the war effort. The Nazis, knowing this sort of information about the West Midlands, would have been pivotal to winning the war against the British. The theory goes that Bella went in to retrieve this sort of information and was killed by the Nazis after failing this mission. More evidence of this came in 1999 when MI5 declassified documents of Joseph Jacobs came to light, who is the final person to be put to death in the Tower of London. He himself was a German spy who had parachuted in Cambridgeshire, however on impact had broken his ankle and been captured by the Home Guard. This then led to his interrogation, where he spoke of the previously mentioned Clara, who had parachuted into the West Midlands. However, besides mere coincidence, there is no link between Bella and Clara. Upon Joseph's death, a search of his body had been done, and a photo of Clara had been found in his pocket. Besides his report, not another account told of a person parachuting into the West Midlands. As well, she was 6 foot tall and Bella 5 foot. In 2016, it was then finally presented that Bella and Clara weren't the same person due to previously stated evidence. The second theory is to do with witchcraft. While investigating the rest of the woods, the right hand was finally found, and The anthropologist Margaret Murray in 1945 believed that it was linked to a ritual known as the Hand of God, which gave magical powers. As well, the positioning of the body when it was found was very ritualistic. Around the time, groups like Romany Gypsies used this area to hide away from the air raids, and it was believed that she was killed as part of one of these rituals that they perform. The West Midlands has various ties to paganism and various folk rituals, so it made this theory a lot more believable. As well, this was linked to another case that happened in Lower Quinton, where Charles Walton was killed in the same ritualistic manner. The third theory is based off the golden ring that was found on Bella's finger, believing that the murder was more out of love and revenge, believing that a partner or lover had killed Bella and was the one that put her in the tree. As well, Bella could have been murdered by someone that lives in the area of Hagley Woods, knowing the place to be a good spot to hide a body. However, no one matched the description of Bella, and after the missing report was made, no one came forward with any new information, so this just became an idea. In 1953, Una Mossop reported that her ex-husband one night had confessed to his family that he'd gone out drunk with a Danish man known as Van Rolt. They were driving home and had spotted a drunk woman and had hid them in a tree, believing that once she woke up in the morning, she would know the errors of her ways. He was then sent to a mental hospital for seeing this woman in his dreams staring back at him from the Hallow Wych Elm. However, he eventually died in prison, and the woman was never recovered. This sounds like it solves the mystery. However, you need to take into account it took more than 10 years after Jack Mossop's death for Una to finally make this account. Also, in 1953, another theory was created when a Dutch woman was killed by a German spy ring for knowing too much. However, no available accounts or evidence links to this story at all. The final theory is that Bella was a sex worker. This was based off a 1944 report given by another sex worker. In the report, she states about a sex worker named Bella who worked in the Hagley Road area and disappeared 3 years ago. This would link to the graffiti and prove the point that the graffiti artist knew more about the case. However, this is merely coincidence, and besides the two dying and disappearing at the same time, doesn't have any other link. Since then, there has been more and more theories that have been created and dismissed based off various clues of the case. The latest insight into the case is in 2018, when a forensics team did a modern reconstruction of her face using a skull. However, all the photos lacked significant detail, and it meant there was no further progression in identifying Bella. In the modern day, the phrase "who put Bella in the wych elm" is a part of British cultural history, and due to the mysterious nature of the case and the disturbing events, it has sparked various plays, crime novels, and film and TV series upon the mystery of Bella's death. The legend of who put Bella in the wych elm shows a desire to solve mysteries, and after 81 years, it has become a piece of folklore for the British. And hopefully, one day we will know who put Bella in the witch elm.